Now, if you've seen something across your television screen flash like this, uh, you would probably freak out, wouldn't you? Whether it's real or fake or staged or whatever, you would probably think it's the real deal. Well, they're saying there might be a staged event next year. There's no verification of this, but this is something that I was told. There might be a potential like this. Um, if it's staged, if it's real or fake, to me, it doesn't matter. I would prepare myself, um, and I would be concerned nonetheless. Um, I would probably the one thing we gotta have to tell people is not to panic, and that's going to be hard if they've seen this on television. Not to panic. If they've seen this all over television, to not panic, and that's why I've been trying to tell people, and it could be not just aliens from outer space if that was real, um, or it could just be an invasion from another country. It's the same thing. China, Russia, or whatever invades our country, and we see this on our television screens. The Russians or the Chinese or whoever else is invading us, or an alien invasion, whether it's real or fake. I'd be concerned. That's why I'm telling people to get with me, contact me, markdavis1865 at gmail.com, so we can get organized, because we don't know. We do not know what's going to happen next year or the year after next or whatever. We just need to prepare for every type of scenario. And we've seen science fiction movies, alien type movies for years and years. Hollywood has been making them for years and years. They've been making movies about aliens. They've been making the movies, with Patrick Swayze, with uh, United States being invaded by Russia or China. Um, all kinds of invasion type movies. There's been some with Chuck Norris, like I said, Patrick Swayze, and then you had all kinds of alien invasion movies. Then the number of movies is endless, and which kind of questions makes me question in the back of my mind: is there something to this? Is there a reason why they're making all these movies or talking about all? They've been talking about this for years, So this is something to think about. But I think what we need to do as a country, and Reagan said this back in the 1980s, said that the countries may have to come together if there was like an alien invasion from outer space, a threat from outer space, that they would have to come together. Um, but it could be a bad thing if they're trying to get people to get into the NWO New World Order thing, and this is a false flag. So there's all kinds of scenarios that we have to think about in this situation. I'm not saying believe in conspiracy theories, but this is just something to think about. You know, eventually I think eventually we could be invaded either from aliens from outer space, potentially, false flag, or the real deal from aliens or from the Russians, China, whoever else. We could be in a nuclear war. You never know. So that's why we need to prepare ourselves. And if it really is an alien invasion, I mean, I'm talking about the real deal. I don't know that we have any defenses here on Earth that can combat an alien force with weapons like this, like we see on this thing here with big giant spacecraft. Obviously they'd have laser beams, and what would the response of the government be? How would they respond to the aliens? We've seen a lot of movies where the government, like the U.S. government, they deal with an alien force, and they come to Earth with peaceful intentions. They have any hostile intentions at all, and then the U.S. government started firing at it. The next thing you know, the aliens, they went to war with us because we were the ones that were the aggressors. And then on the other hand, there's been movies where the aliens will come out, start firing at us, and they're the ones that started everything. So it's one of those type of situations. If aliens do exist, what I'm not saying they do or don't exist, but if they did exist or do exist, the last thing we need to do is we do not need to start a fight with them. We just have to hunker down and see what they do. If we feel like that they are shooting laser beams down on us and they're creating havoc, then we got to find a way to stop them. Obviously, if we see them killing human beings using their lasers, then they have hostile intent. If they say, well, we're going to share technology with us or whatever, I wouldn't trust them. I say, no, thank you. No, thank you. I've seen plenty of alien movies where they said, well, we will offer you whatever and all this, and there's got to be a catch. There's got to be some kind of catch. I wouldn't try to capture them, and I would just let them do what they got to do and go back in their spaceship and go. But we could possibly be friendly with them, but I wouldn't exactly trust them unless we really knew them. And how would we know? How would we know to trust aliens? How would we know this? How would we know? I would want to be friendly with aliens for a lot of reasons. They could be our friends and they could help us out and everything, but it's just one of those type of situations where we just have to be careful. And and they've been, they sent out this Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 space probe, and they don't know whether aliens will get their hands on that, which I think Stephen Hawking said it was, stupid to send them out there. And on the actual disc, it says how to get here to Earth. Plus, they also have these radio telescopes where they try to communicate out in deep in space, and they've actually received signals from outer space, and they might be trying to contact. We don't know what NASA is doing. I'd be kind of concerned. They may have gotten contact with some alien force out there. I mean, there's a bunch of stars and planets out there in the galaxy. We don't know what's out there. There may or may not be aliens out there. It wouldn't surprise me if there was, but like I said, I'd be concerned. I'd be very concerned, and they've been, like I said, they've been making a lot of these alien movies. They've made documentaries about them. And then they talked about the Bermuda Triangle connection to the aliens, and they talked about Bigfoot. I don't know if Bigfoot's real or not. With Bigfoot, there could be some unknown creatures in the woods that we don't know about, so there's a possibility of that too. So, what I'm telling people now, especially now, with what's going on, they need to keep an eye on what's going on. currently right now, because we've been having a lot of stuff go on, and this may not happen. Let's just hope this doesn't happen. Let's just hope this doesn't happen. Let's just hope that if there is aliens out in space, that they don't come here. They don't feel a need to come here to Earth and start messing with us, because we already have enough problems as is on our planet, and we got enough problems here, and then have an alien species come out here to our planet, as crazy as the people on this planet is. I'd be concerned about the aliens, and then they may decide, hey, we want to wipe out the humans because they're just too crazy, So, like I said, and we have no business. We absolutely have no business sending signals out in space and seeing if we can make contact with aliens from outer space. We just need to leave it alone. If there was a way to destroy the Voyager spacecraft, and they say it in the future it will eventually be destroyed, because there's these asteroids way out in space, and they thinking that the Voyagers will hit those asteroids and completely obliterate those space probes, and also Pioneer space probes and all the other ones that's out there. So let's just hope that be the case, or NASA either recalls these things up in space, or destroys them somehow or another remotely, and they need to stop trying to send signals up in space. It's one thing to monitor what's going on, but to send something up in space, to contact aliens, and then, like I said, it's one thing to go to the moon and go to Mars, whatever. That's one thing, but trying to deliberately send signals to try to get in contact with whatever's out there, if there's anything out there, I don't think it's smart doing that, because we could be risking a lot here on this planet. And they made a movie, I forgot what the name of the movie was, several years ago, where we send out a signal, and it was a long time ago, back in the 1940s. There was a signal that was sent out, a radio signal back actually before World War II, and there was a signal sent out, and then they received the signal, and it had Jodie Foster played in the movie. It's like an alien sci-fi type of movie, and so this is something we need to think about. And like I said, I'm not saying they're going to do this. I'm not saying the government are making accusations that they may or may not do this. It's just something to think about. But this is something I was told that people need to be aware of if they actually see this. So